Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of Tuesday Night Legacy. This week we have Bant Stoneblade versus Yorion D&T. On the left we have Jamie playing his Bant Stoneblade list. This used to be one of the most popular decks in the format when Oko was still legal in the format, but since the banning of that card, this deck has kind of turned into a mid-range list that runs off of Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. It's just trying to take some of the strongest cards from each of the colors that it has. So Uro is one of the cards, and you have Stoneforge Mystic that brings a lot of advantage, as we can see in D&T lists. This particular list also runs Teferi Time Raveler, which basically shuts down combo decks and doesn't allow for your blue opponents to counter any of your spells, and also runs Jace the Mind Sculptor, while also running its own Force of Wills and Force of Negation. Also the card advantage that blue brings with the Brainstorms and Ponders. So this deck is basically just trying to outgrind you and get on top of your strategy while also coming in for crushing beats with the Cauldron Complete. On the other side of the board, we have John running the Yorion D&T list, which I guess at this point is the accepted version of D&T. 60 card is not really a thing anymore, even though some people still play it, including myself. So the 80 card version of D&T basically trades away the 60 card version for just more of the same. So you're getting a lot more cards that you can play at any given time. Seeing 4 Spirit of the Labyrinth, 4 Stoneforge Mystic, 4 Thalia, basically 4 ofs of everything. You also get Solitude, which is the new Swords to Plowshares on a creature, and all of this can be found off of the Recruiter of the Guard. And this deck often has 1 to 2 flex slots, and this particular list I think is running the Cathar Commando, which is getting close to an accepted slot in the deck, as well as a mainboard Lion Sash. So D&T always doing its thing, denying resources to its opponent, playing all of these creatures that make it very disruptful for an opponent to do anything on their turn, or even your turn. So the Thalia giving a hard time to any of the blue decks, making things cost extra, and then landing a Stoneforge Mystic, also getting the Cauldron Complete into play and riding it to victory for 4 turns. So both of these decks are mid-range decks, but the D&T list is more designed to kind of disrupt the plan of the opponent over Jamie's list of just trying to play really good cards. So we will see who gets it. Starting here, Jamie just plays a Flooded Strand, passes the turn. We see a Mother of Runes on turn 1 from John. Very good card, giving protection to anything, any one of his creatures in play, as long as it doesn't have Summoning Sickness. Jamie realizes the threat here, shoots the Mother of Runes with his Swords to Plowshares before it gets a chance to untap. We see a Wasteland coming down, blowing up Jamie's Tundra, taking him off white mana for now. And it looks like Jamie only had 2 mana to keep, so he goes ahead and passes turn. See a Rishadan Port as John's 3rd land tapping down. Jamie's only land. We see a Thalia coming into play here. Still not drawing any land. Discards an Uro on Jamie's side. He is already up to 7 cards. Ooh, that's rough. So we see the Stoneforge Mystic come down. And Jamie does want to Force of Will it. But because Thalia says that non-creature spells cost 1 or more to cast, he doesn't have any mana, even though the alternate casting cost of Force of Will is free. He didn't have the Thalia tax. And so we see a scoop there due to the just brutal nature of D&T controlling that land base, especially with Jamie not drawing any other lands for the whole game. So it looks like Jamie's starting out with a Noble Hierarch. The Noble Hierarch coming down, getting rid of the Aether Vial on John's side with a Prismatic Ending. And a Stoneforge Mystic coming down on Jamie's side. Prismatic Ending being a fairly good card here, as 3 colors allows it to get rid of a lot of different types of permanents. Being able to pay up to 3 different Converge. So getting rid of CMC 3 or less hits like, I don't know, 90% of the Legacy format staples. So the Stoneforge Mystic went and got Cauldra. We saw Uro being cast, extra land coming down, Cauldra swinging in, but the Flicker Wisp is going to get rid of that token. Where is Flicker Wisp? Here we go. Being able to target the token itself, bouncing it from play, thereby removing it from the game. See Jace the Mind Sculptor coming down. Cauldra a little bit weak now, as Jamie does not run his own Flicker Wisps in that list. See a Ledger Shredder. Didn't have that in his list. Ledger Shredder. So this guy's really cool. Being able to connive if you're playing 2 spells. And John realizes the threat here of being able to cycle through the deck and uses a Solitude evoked, getting rid of the Palace Jailer to get rid of that. Seeing Umezawa's Jite coming down, not being able to block it. Man, this Flicker Wisp doing some huge work. 3 damage, kills the Jace the Mind Sculptor that was in play. Gets the Umezawa's Jite triggers, minuses to kill the Noble Hierarch. And now Jamie is left pretty neutered with just a Stoneforge Mystic and an empty Cauldra in play. Not being able to equip the Cauldra until he has 7 mana. Jamie doing a Ponder here. Didn't like the top 3. He's already down to 1 card in hand. We do see that Jamie's on 5 mana, so theoretically, I mean, if he can... Here's 6 mana. If he can get 1 more in play, then he can equip that Cauldra and start running in with the Stoneforge Mystic. Unfortunately, unless he has an answer to this Flicker Wisp in his hand, that Stoneforge Mystic will die due to these Umezawa Jite triggers. Because it will be up to 3 triggers. And John being, I believe, a fairly aware opponent, understands that he can kill the Stoneforge Mystic in response to an equip. We do see a Brainstorm here that does set Jamie back that extra mana, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Tries to attack, kills it anyways. We don't know what that last card is in Jamie's hand, but with another Flicker Wisp in hand, it looks like Jamie is way behind the ball on this one. John in a commanding lead of this game. Ooh, and that's a Remorseful Cleric coming down on John's side. Don't have that one up. So Remorseful Cleric, Remorseful Cleric is basically just a Tormod's Crypt on a creature. Being able to sacrifice it, getting rid of the Uro, one of the only options that Jamie had in his grave. Jamie trying to fight over this Flicker Wisp. He does get to counter it, but with Umezawa's Jite having 5 triggers on it, I mean, he can give it +10/+10, which is way more than Jamie's life total. He's just got a Wasteland. I mean, this is game. And that's it. So John taking that D&T deck and having a commanding presence over the Bant Stoneblade deck. Definitely showing that D&T deserves its spot as a respectable Legacy deck. We're doing back-to-back Legacy. Next time is 8-Cast versus Delver. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you want to see more of this content in the future. We have a bunch more of these on the channel, so go check out our backlog to see some other premium content. If you're curious about a deck you saw played here, the deck lists are always in the description of the video below. Thanks as always to Spellhold Games for letting us play at their store, and we'll see you next time for some more Magic content on Tuesday Night Legacy. Bye!